Hello there, everyone. Xantok here with Select Star Gaming, and welcome back to another episode of Virtue's Last Reward, the second game in the Zero Escape series. Now, of course, as you know, this game's already been played on Twitch, and this is all just archive footage, so if you'll just give me a moment here, I'm going to jump back to a previous point in my timeline, and we'll continue with the game. I stepped into the warehouse to find all the other teams already there. Kay and Luna, Fi and Clover, and Dio. The moment Dio spotted me, he dashed over to the rightmost AV room and slid his card to the reader. Dude, this guy. I mean, at least he waited this time around. But Tenmyouji's not here.
Ambidex's gate has been opened. 45 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
As he turned to look at me, I swore I saw a flash of a smug grin.
There. Happy?
More happy.
This time I waited for you to get back before I opened it.
Yeah, but what about Tenmyouji?
I can be considerate.
Eh. But Tenmyouji and Quark aren't here.
Yeah, where are they?
I guess they forgot something back in the room we found. They ran back to grab it real quick.
I'll be here in a few minutes. No big deal.
While we waited, we exchanged information about the rooms we'd investigated. Unfortunately, none of it seemed very useful. No one had found anything, and we were no closer to unraveling any of the increasing number of mysteries we were faced with. With that discussion exhausted, we sat down to wait. Before long, 20 minutes had passed since Dio opened the door, and Tenmyouji and Quark were nowhere in sight.
Don't you think they're taking a little long?
Yes, I'm getting worried. What if something happened to them?
Oh, God. I'll go have a look.
Then I shall accompany you.
Yeah, I'd appreciate that. Oh, I guess, but not. I'll be fine by myself. It's not that far away.
Don't look into the abyss too long, or you might become a monster.
What? I don't... Okay. Look, I'm just gonna go to the director's office. I'll be right back. No big deal. Right. See you guys later. I gave a quick goodbye wave and stepped out of the warehouse. Got a bad feeling about this. Huh? That's odd. There's nobody here. The picture's gone, though. Tenmyouji and Quark must have been here, then. I laid out the floor B map. Huh. They must have taken the door that faces the warehouse. After that, they probably went through the warehouse and out the blue door to the elevator. Yeah, that's a much shorter route. On the other hand, I came through the red door, which is kind of the long way around. Huh. Looks like we managed to miss each other perfectly. Not with this music. Ugh. Well, this was a huge waste of time. Shoot. Might as well head back, I suppose. I packed up the map and was headed toward the door when... Huh? There's a light on where there hadn't been a light before. What? Why is that thing on? We messed with it earlier, but nothing seemed to work. I felt a sudden wave of inexplicable, nauseating dread. The light stared at me. I swallowed and edged cautiously toward it. No, we're looking into the abyss. Stop it! We were warned. The machine was in arm's reach now. I stretched my hand out toward it, slowly. Slowly.
So, you finally made it.
No, you're...
I am Zero.
What?
I was the one who brought you here. You undoubtedly have as many questions for me as there are stars in the sky.
Huh?
As you can see, however, this is only a recording.
Does this sound like Ace, or is that just me?
I will therefore be unable to directly answer any questions. Ask if you wish, but I cannot respond.
I considered taking a swing at him, but decided that was spectacularly futile, and kept my bald fist at my side.
Now, where to begin? There are many things I wish to tell you, but unfortunately, our time is limited.
Then get with the fucking program.
As such, the information I can provide is also limited.
It's funny, anytime you have like any kind of media where it's like, here's a pre-recorded message, I don't have a lot of time to tell you things, but here, let me spend all of my time explaining to you about the fact that I don't have a lot of time to tell you anything. Oh, now it's time for me to tell you things. The answer is, it gets cut off. Happens all the goddamn time. Stop telling me that you can't tell me a lot, and just tell me what you can.
I have chosen two things of great importance to tell you.
Get to it.
First, I will tell you about termites.
What?
In retrospect, I suppose that's a rather odd thing to say.
Yeah, a little bit.
Imagine you look rather bewildered right now.
A little bit.
Perfectly understandable. The person who kidnapped you and threatened you with death is lecturing you about insects.
Uh-huh.
I suspect it hardly seems fair.
Stop wasting the time that you say you don't have a lot of, and just tell me the thing!
Nonetheless, this is very important.
Oh
In a
my
way,
god.
It will determine your fate. So I ask that you listen carefully. Have you ever seen a termite mound? They are
No.
splendid structures. Some might even call them works of art. Termites are natural architects, and their mounds are both structurally sound and make excellent use of space. So, are they following some sort of plan as they build? Are there termite blueprints detailing which room goes where?
Are we about to do more memory bullshit?
No, of course not. Each termite is simply an oblivious cog in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of termite DNA. It is doubtful an individual termite has any idea what its contributions are helping to create. But a human does. We can appreciate the elegant forms of their alien cathedrals. We can see the simple beauty of their perfect functionality. We can understand the splendid planning of their structure. In other words, only an intelligence of a higher order can understand the beauty of what the termite builds. Now, consider humans.
Okay.
Why are we alive?
I don't know.
Why do we love and give birth? Why do we create? From where do our cultures spring? There are many theories, but no one knows the truth. We are oblivious cogs in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of human DNA. No doubt you see now what this analogy is supposed to illustrate.
No.
Yes, I mean to say humans are not different from termites.
I disagree.
We trudge through our lives with no greater understanding of our ultimate goal. You might say we don't understand what we're building. Only an intelligence of a higher order than ours can understand what we're doing. Imagine how we might look to such an intelligence. We may be building some structure so perfect and elegant, we can't even perceive it.
Me, looking around at the last couple years. Are we building something perfect and elegant? Because I don't fucking see it.
Whatever it is, we've likely been building it on a dimension just above the ones we know since time immemorial. If we are like the termites, then what we've created is almost certainly something of tremendous beauty.
Alright, guy. I think you've gone to a few too many philosophy classes.
And you are about to catch a glimpse of it.
Because I'm a robot?
Or have you already? Well, that's enough on that subject, I think.
Oh, God damn it. Clicking out of the fucking window.
Consider what I've said. Now, let's move on to the second topic. It is somewhat more immediately meaningful to your life.
Thank you.
In fact, the lives of several billion other people.
Yeah, this is what I want to know.
I realize this is rather sudden, but I have a password for you. It is the password to disarm the bomb, numbered 1.
Bomb?
Are you ready?
Yeah, because we don't know about the bombs in this timeline.
I will only say this once, so pay close attention. The password to disarm the number 1 bomb is BQZ RGJ DXR.
I don't need to write this down. But I'm gonna just put it here. I'm pretty sure the game will just be like, yep, you remember this. But I'm just gonna, like, be safe in the moment. We got a bomb key. Yeah, we did. I'm pretty sure the game will remember for us when this is important. But I'm just, you know, I'm just gonna be safe right now. There we go. I had no idea what he was talking about. What bomb? Was he saying there was a bomb here too? If he'd guessed at my future confusion, he showed no sign of it.
That is the last of the information this message was meant to convey. Before I go, however, I have a warning. You cannot tell any of your companions what you heard or saw here.
Wait, if he's 0, that means none of the 9 of us are 0. Unless it's K.
If you do, you will be penalized immediately.
Got it.
I hope we will meet again someday. We would have much to discuss.
But did Tenmyouji see this message? Wait, god damn it, you can't just spout all that crap and disappear. Well, I found myself yelling at empty air. The hologram had disappeared. Well, what kind of an idiot does he take me for? Termites? Other dimensions? How could that have anything to do with kidnapping us? Oh, shit. I kicked out at a nearby shelf.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
See, Dio, this is why you wait for everyone.
All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Ah, crap. I need to get back. Not like there's any point staying here. I spun around and ran out of the room, toward the warehouse. What the fuck?
Grandpa!
Oh, there you are!
Mr. Sigma's back!
Uh-huh.
Took you long enough.
I was looking for you! Where are the others?
In the AB rooms.
They went in already? Why didn't you two? Have you been waiting for me?
Yeah. Grandpa said there was something he had to tell you before we voted, no matter what.
Okay, what's that?
Nothing that significant. Just wanted to tell you we're going to choose ally this round.
Oh, yeah.
That's it.
And you had to tell me that no matter what? Seems kind of pointless. I mean, words are cheap. You can promise whatever you want.
True, but we've got something to back it up. Just hear me out.
Okay. Go ahead.
Quark and I both have 8 BP. We're already on the home stretch.
Sure.
So what do we need to get to the magic number? Well, we need you to choose ally. If you do that, it doesn't really matter to us what we pick.
It's true. You get to 9 whether you get 2 or 3 points.
Exactly. That being the case, we don't have any reason to betray you. And if we both choose ally, we both gain points.
True. But you must have considered that I'll choose betray. That would mean you'd choose betray to protect yourselves.
That's why we're telling you we won't choose betray.
Mm-hmm.
Can I trust you?
Of course.
I mean, we trusted him last round and it worked out. Alright. Tell me one thing, though. Let's say we do this and both ally. Everybody gets 2 points. That means you and Quark will have enough to leave, which is great for you, but I'll be stuck with a measly 5. How do I know you aren't going to just open the number 9 door and leave us in the
I
lurch?
can guarantee it.
How?
I can give you my word.
That's... Listen, I'd love for that to be a guarantee, but it's
I will
not.
not open the number 9 door, even if I have enough points to do so. I swear it. We aren't going to abandon everybody else just so we can escape.
Also, I mean, anybody that does it at this point is an idiot, considering the star round just being like, okay, we can all grind up to 9 points now, it's super easy.
I swear too. I promise.
Man. So all you've got is a promise, huh?
When I make a promise, I keep it. Trust me.
Please. You've got to trust us.
I do like that, like, the game seems to give you enough arguments to make the player at least think about choosing ally or betray every round. Like, there's always is an argument. They don't just be like, okay, so you're doing this. Like, even if it's Clover's really bad seduction attempt. I'm kind of curious to know, like, what the reaction would be if you do click betray to that one. They're like, what? Alright, fine. I'll trust you.
2 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
We're counting on you, Sigma.
You got to choose ally. You promised.
With that, they turned and ran into the AB room second from the right. I love how we just completely glossed over the dead body we found in one of these rooms once, and nobody's brought it up again since. Am I still on that timeline? Man, I can't even tell. I think I am. Actually, no, I might not be. Alright, let's do this shit.
One minute remains until Ambidex game polling closes.
I had a decision to make. Should I trust Quark and Tenmyouji? Well, I could believe they were telling the truth and still betray them. That would bring my BP to 6. I'd be that much closer to 9. And choosing betray would guarantee that they wouldn't be able to try and escape without the rest of us. Betrayal seemed like the safe bet. But
Please. You've got to trust us. You've got to choose ally. You promised.
Tenmyouji, I can betray easily enough. But Quark? What the hell was I going to do?
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Man, we always leave it to the last fucking second.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
2, 1. Let's ally.
Round 3 of the Ambidex game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
Alright, Dio, did you choose Betray again? Probably, you fucking bastard.
Results from round 3 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Yeah, figured. You bitches! Why? Everybody is so mean in this game. They're so mean. We're never gonna escape at this rate, you assholes.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly.
God damn it.
Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
Dog, what do you want now? I tried to take you out and you said no. Hey! What the hell, guys? Why'd you betray me again?
Quark had nothing to do with this. I made the vote.
Grandpa.
Alright, fine. Why'd you break your promise,
I
Tenmyouji?
only promised you one thing. We wouldn't open the number 9 door, even if we got 9 points.
You fucker. What? So you're not gonna
I
leave?
said, of course we're going to leave.
What?
Look, see Clover over there?
What? Oh, don't tell me. And the three of you are all making one for together because you've already communicated with her who you are.
Oh no.
Jeez.
That bitch!
Wait. Quark and Tenmyouji have...
The words were barely out of her mouth when Tenmyouji and Quark ran past.
No! God damn it!
Clover, are you really going to leave?
Well, yeah. Why else would I open the door?
But why?
I'm going to go call the others. So we can capture Zero Senior.
Tenmyouji, are you and Quark going too?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody.
So Sigma, happy? Kept my promise.
Oh, fuck you.
Clover opened the door, not me.
You fucker. Like hell I'm happy. That's some shady shit, Tenmyouji.
Say so. I have to get out of here, and that's that. He's got to pay for what he's done.
Here?
Zero.
You mean you know who Zero Senior is?
Yeah. No point keeping it a secret now, I suppose. I know exactly who Zero Senior is.
What?
Say it.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Time to move.
Right.
Oh, wait. This is for you, Mr. Sigma.
Quark held something out. I looked down to see 2 pieces of folded paper. What is this?
It's a letter. I wrote it in the director's office before the AB game. I wanted to tell you what kind of guy Grandpa is. So, read it, okay?
Okay. He pressed it into my hand.
See you later, Mr. Sigma.
And then he turned and ran toward the door, Tenmyouji and Clover following in his footsteps. I was so surprised by the letter that I didn't even try to stop them. Before I could think of anything to say...
See you.
Goodbye.
Wow. Rude. Fuckers.
The number 9 door has closed. This ends the Nonary Game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
Shit! They're gone.
All we can do now is hope they bring help back.
Indeed.
I agree.
Alright, let me read this letter. Like, what final lore drop are we gonna get? I looked down at Quark's letter and slowly unfolded it. His handwriting was still slightly uneven, but he'd filled both pages with writing. I began to read. It was a really stormy day when he found me. Okay, so he adopted him, more or less. He said the rain was coming down so hard it almost hurt, but somehow he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess I must have been crying pretty loud. He took me home and did his best to raise me, but he'd never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard for him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. Also, I guess I was a pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get the water to formula ratio just right, I wouldn't eat it. Guess that was kind of a pain, huh? But he didn't give up, and now here I am. When he found me, I was really, really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. That's why he named me Quark. A quark is a really, really small thing, and I was really, really small too. Grandpa didn't need to worry though, because it turned out that I was pretty tough. When I was 1, he forgot I was sleeping in the bed of his truck and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back, but I didn't even get scratched. What? I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking, I fell down the stairs. I didn't get hurt then either. When I was 3, I got really sick. I had a super high fever for a week, but eventually, I got better. I guess you could say I'm pretty lucky. Anyway, I didn't really have any more accidents after that, and I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I started helping Grandpa out with his work. His job was to gather junk from abandoned buildings. Then he'd fix it up or pull out the useful parts and sell them. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding good stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful, or you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I'd find something, he'd explain to me what it was, how it was supposed to work, how to fix it, all sorts of things. Usually, though, I just wanted to finish up work so I could go to the theater. The theater came to our town once a week in a wagon. They'd show old news or movies. I went every single week, but Grandpa only went once in a while. And he'd only go weeks when they showed movies. That's fair. Oh yeah, I didn't know that I'd been adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids on my block told me. I guess after Grandpa found me, he just looked all over town to try and find somebody who'd take me. The kid from my block actually had a mom, and he'd asked her if she would take me too. I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There weren't a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that someone lived with his actual mom was pretty impressive. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get someone else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? The kid who told me about Grandpa trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. He was totally spoiled, and he bragged to everybody about how he had a mom. He liked to come up to me while I was working and say stuff like, "It must be hard not having a mother." It never bothered me before, but after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he didn't really want me. If I could work on my own, then he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. Then one day, he took me to a bar in our neighborhood. During the day, of course. He went there sometimes to drink scotch, but I'd never gone before. When we got in, he just walked up to the counter with that grumpy look he has, and I thought, oh no, he's gonna make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender, and then he picked me up and set me down on a stool next to the counter. The stool was pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid, and my legs just dangled off of it. It seemed really, really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. Root beer float. Eventually, the bartender came back over with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. As I looked closer, I realized that the second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took me a minute to realize what it was. A root beer float. I'd never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. Really. To me and the other kids, it seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure it was real at that point, and then turned to look at Grandpa. He looked back at me. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He'd already turned around and moved off though, so I figured he must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. Still didn't seem like it could be real, and I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's. Is this really mine? He nodded. Words can't describe how awesome it was. I'd never tasted anything like root beer before. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. That's not an exaggeration. I really thought that. The root beer float was delicious, but what made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling. I know it's gotta be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. Right then, I didn't care whether he'd just found me and adopted me or not. He'd bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother but had never tasted root beer. Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. So Grandpa and I were doing pretty good. Until the fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I had torn one of my shoes that morning, and some old drunk guy had yelled at me. All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over, and I was fed up. So just grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. When I showed what I found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I'd brought back, explaining why they were all useless. I got really mad and just yelled, "I don't care." Then he got mad and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I was pretty upset, and I started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so he could raise me to work and make money for him. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building, but by then, I started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologize. It started raining pretty hard though, so I decided I should wait for it to stop. But that was just an excuse. The truth was that I was nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. The rain didn't stop though, so I just sat there staring out at the gloomy gray sky. I imagined Grandpa coming to get me. It kept raining all night, and he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard somebody groaning. At first, I thought I should just ignore it and not get involved, but I went over anyway and it was Grandpa. He was totally soaked, and I could tell right away that he'd been there for a really long time. I yelled, and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly and said he was glad I was safe. He'd spent all night out in the rain looking for me. I felt awful. Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me so long that he'd collapsed. I was horrible. He'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. As I ran to get the doctor, I promised whatever god might be listening that if they would only save Grandpa, I'd never ask for another root beer float ever again. He got a real bad fever. His temperature wouldn't go down for days. The doctor said if it kept up, he'd die. If he died, then I'd be all alone. There wouldn't be anybody left to care about me. The thought of that happening terrified me. Fortunately, I must have passed some of my luck on to Grandpa, because a week later, his fever finally broke. I was glad he wasn't going to die, but I was also a little scared. What if he decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore? My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up, but when the moment came, my brain just stopped. Grandpa started to talk. It took me a minute to realize he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think. He explained that he was an old man, and that meant he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone. But maybe he'd been a little too strict. All the things I'd worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He'd been worried when I ran off, and he'd gone out into the rain to look for me. I tried to apologize, but when I opened my mouth, I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby. But he just smiled and patted my head. I asked him if he'd ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide and he said, "Of course not." He told me that he was looking for a really important lady, and because of that, he'd had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. But when he took me in and started raising me, he felt like he'd gotten some of what he lost back. That was when I decided I'd stay with him forever. Even if he said I couldn't. Oh. Well, sounds like we reached one of the 9 endings then. God damn. Did not expect that out of old Junpei. Yep. Alright, so I'm guessing are we gonna see the English voice actors too? Yeah, Zero the Third and Zero Senior. But why do they keep calling him Zero Junior then? When the game calls the character Zero the Third? That's weird to me. I don't get it. But that's one of the major endings done. It's not the... Obviously, we gotta do all the other endings. But not today, though. Pretty much once we get to the menu and we can save, I'm gonna end it there. I was considering going longer today, but I think it's just best if we end things there for today. The next thing we'll pick up, going back to another timeline. Probably start off with betraying Tenmyouji, and then seeing what happens on that route, then going back up to the other part where we could have betrayed him, actually. So... we'll see what happens there. But let's see the rest of the credits first. We're gonna get through the credits just like once in this game. Any other time we're gonna skip them. If it allows, let's just skip them. Part of the reason I want to sit here and see them now is because I want to get to the English voice actors because I haven't looked it up yet. I want to see if there's any other name I recognize besides just Laura Bailey and Liam O'Brien. That's a new theme. Huh. But if Tenmyouji is Junpei, why is he so much older than Clover? There's only 2 possible answers. One, him and Quark somehow traveled into the past, either pre or post kidnapping, I don't know. Or, everybody else was captured on the same day in like, what was the year, 2028 or something? But then we were kept frozen for like fucking 50 years, and then they only kidnapped Quark and Tenmyouji once they got old. Or he got old, rather. Those are the only things that make sense. Neither one makes sense. Those are the only possibilities that I can possibly think of. I don't know. Or this is all a simulation and it's... I don't know. I don't have a good explanation. That's wild. Are we not going to get the English voice actors? Really? Tenmyouji and in Root Beer Veritas is our achievement for that one. Alright, let's save the goddamn game. Hell yeah! 22 hours, 22 minutes. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and end this episode of Virtue's Last Reward here. I'm sure some things happened. People probably talked. Maybe we saw the puzzle or learned an exciting revelation or so. I'm not sure. This all happened for me months ago. But hopefully, it was a good episode. At least I had a lot of fun, playing through it. And we'll see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.